Good morning, guys. Good morning,
Thank you.
guys. I'm gonna be the new host now.
Well, we are
Yeah,
missing Matteo.
we are missing Matteo today. Today, Matteo had troubles with the internet connection. That's what I learned, and
That's
unfortunately could not be part of us. But most likely will be part of our commentary, and we invite all the guys that are watching us to comment live on our Facebook stream. Yes.
nice.
And so Diego,
Here I
I
am.
see you particularly happy. What happened
Well, I'm happy because
lately?
today is a lot of confusion. We are having a lot of technical issues. Internet is not working. The phone are not working. The audio is not working. But I'm happy because we are live. And of course, Bozzelli, I'm happy to see you. Was that right?
Without the week. Today he decided to
Yeah.
come up the truth without the week. So
Actually, I have to be honest with all the viewers of the Cult of Culture stream, and I have to be fair with our friend Matteo, that was commenting us a couple of weeks ago, saying that I was wearing a wig, and now that's the proof. This is why he was right.
So you have a wig.
I do have.
You had.
Actually, I hanged it on the wall now, and I was lying. That's true.
Nice. So thank you, Paolo. Well, today we have a special enter. Welcome on board, Paolo Turchi from. Where are you from, Paolo? Tell us. Where are you?
Thank you. So I'm originally from Rome. I was born in Roma, but I have been in Australia. So I'm in Sydney, Australia at this moment. It's 6:30 p.m. And I grew up here. This is where I live. But as you can see, the faith is very strong.
Yes, we can see, unfortunately, but that's okay.
So you had the chance. Sorry, I call you Turkey. So you had the chance to see Alessandro Del Piero live, often in the stadium, or no?
Yes. But let's say, I mean, look, I respect the champion that he was. I respect the history that he had. But when Roma came to Melbourne in I think it was 2015 or 16, that was a dream for me.
Nice.
I can imagine. Nice. No, but I was saying Del Piero because he performed in Sydney for a few years. No?
Yes, yeah. We saw him live, but being a Roma fan, it was good to see him, but it didn't. It wasn't the same emotion.
Yeah, there's this guy Del Piero there.
Oh, no, definitely respect his history. He is a champion, but it was just Diamanti is doing well in Melbourne as well. So
one day we can do a special about the A League, because I was recently reading an article in Marca about how many Spanish players in the A League. A lot of Italians, of course. So it's getting interesting. It's getting very interesting.
La 14ª.
It's an odd. I don't know. The A League is in a weird situation. Here, football is a second-class sport, so the league itself misses a lot. In fact, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of the league here. I spend most of my time and energy following Roma, which is the best team in the world.
Nice. So, guys, today the schedule, the agenda is a little bit messed up. We are missing our anchor Matteo, and that was really last minute, so it's going to be funny. We are going to now show his diamond. We are going to show him the quiz. I have no idea about the quiz. He spoiled to me the team, but I need to say that I was really disappointed when he spoiled the team, and it's like, Mata, why are you spoiling it? And it's like, well, you need, to actually know it. And it's like, no, I don't know. I don't want to know it. So I'm gonna show to you guys the quiz that Matteo has prepared for us today. It's going to be extremely difficult. I would never guess it, and I'm really so. Generally, Paolo, you need to know on Turkey on Saturday morning we show like the quiz, right? We show this team from really back in the time, and Carlos is the only one always guessing and getting right. So generally, that's how it works.
Like completely out of the blue, because sometimes there are like some teams that he should not be aware about at all.
Yeah.
And he knows it, and we don't. So shame on us.
Indeed. So we go with this one. This is the team of this week. Let's try, guys. What do you think?
Whoa.
Ooh. Yeah, that's difficult to guess. I'm not sure. I see Sud something. Sud Factory.
That could be interesting. Yeah, I think it's a suit factoring that we are seeing. I recognize one player, by the way. One player I recognize him, but just because I know now.
I would say
His team is in Serie A today? No.
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 This is not. This is not Serie A today. And if you want, I can give you another tip. Matteo will kill me with this tip, but I will give another tip. They are not even in Serie B.
Oof.
So it's really difficult. Well, it's not that difficult, though. Yeah, after I say they're not even in Serie B, it's not that difficult anymore.
I mentioned once when I was guessing back in the time, and I thought about Vicenza, but...
Vicenza is in Serie B.
Vicenza is in Serie B?
Yeah. I will say Bari, but Bari is in Serie B as well.
Bari in Serie B?
No.
Isn't it?
No.
No, it's not.
That's no. Bari is actually. I know it because the owner of my team, it's basically the same owner of Bari, and I know Bari is not in Serie B.
So I will say Bari. I will say Bari. I will say Bari, given the jersey.
The year? Can you? Why even though the jersey? Well, I don't know the year. Matteo told me, I forgot it. I asked him, can you confirm that? He didn't. So, I don't know. I searched for it. I had no idea. But there is one player I recognize.
Wait, I have a question. Is this a picture taken when they were in Serie A?
Yes.
Yes. So I would say the years of Protti, because I think that the one sitting, like the second from the right,
so
should be Igor Protti.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to guess.
Carlos, I have faith in you.
Oof. I guess we are talking about the Serie C or Serie D squads wearing those colors. That is super complicated. Yes, super complicated. Okay, give me a tip. Like they had a good run in Serie A in the 90s, I guess. Or
I would say they never really had a good run, like a crazy good run in Serie A. But surely they are an historical team in Italy.
I guess I will copy. Yeah, I guess I will copy Paolo's idea because it's written suit, no, in the.
Yeah, but could be Sud Tirol. You don't know Sud Factory Tirol, so it could be like the north of Italy.
Yeah, that's true.
Or it could be not.
I like the power, by the way, guys. I like that I know it. And, you know. Turkey, guess.
Look, I off the bat, after the first shot, I also thought Bari, and then I also thought maybe Rimini. But
Rimini could be interesting. But I don't think they were in Serie A.
No, that's right. When you mentioned that, I thought, no, that's not it. I also lean towards Bari. I wouldn't be able to tell you which year. I don't reckon. I can't actually see any player, so I'm not. Yeah, that's difficult.
I'm gonna say my last shot, Piacenza.
Piacenza. Okay.
Piacenza.
Let's ask. Let's see if someone from home wants to answer and to try to guess. But we have so far Carlos Piacenza. Turkey, you said final call.
Bari.
Bari.
Yeah.
Paolo.
Bari.
Bozzelli.
I would say Bari. I would say
Bari.
Bari.
Okay, so we have 2 Bari, 1 Piacenza. Let's see, someone from home. No one is saying anything. So,
Should we keep
well, we got 3 comments. Hold on one second.
Should we keep it?
We have Longobarda.
Longobarda.
Grande Simone. And we have another one saying Perugia.
Perugia,
Okay.
maybe. Perugia, maybe.
Okay.
Pablo, grande Pablo.
So someone guessed it. Someone guessed it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with the last comment by Matteo, who said, he's not showing up. Yeah, we're guest guys. So one of you guys already.
Indeed, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I don't remember the year, but this is Bari. It's actually Bari. They were in the 90s, in the beginning of the 90s, I think 91, 92. They were in Serie A and they got relegated to Serie B. I believe this is actually Igor Proti. So that would be
first
amazing.
Time in the 19 episodes, I got it through.
This is the year of David Platt. Do you remember David Platt?
David
when
Platt,
he was
yeah.
he was playing for Bari. So that's the year they got relegated, and I didn't remember 1991. Radu Choyu. So we got here the answer with a comment. Thank you, Matteo.
Radu Choyu, guys.
Radu Choyu, man.
Wow. Radu Choyu, he played also in Verona. Fantastic. So
João Paulo.
That was it. Great team, great players, and thank you for.
He had also Florin Radu Choyu had very good years in La Liga, performing for Espanyol, very famous player in Barcelona.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he played for in Spain.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
I think in Italy he played probably for Hellas Verona for sure, Bari, and I think also Brescia.
I'm reading. Believe it or not, he played for AC Milan. 7 games for AC Milan.
Wow, that's crazy. In the meantime, I'm going to put this comment here and there just for.
I think you should do the whole episode of today with this comment there.
I'm gonna leave it there. I think Ceferin is surely, making sure that he will be kicked out from.
I'm gonna make a better suggestion. I'm gonna make a better suggestion. I'm gonna say that we're gonna have the banner with that hashtag.
Oh, you can create it.
Yeah, I'm gonna create it. I'm gonna create it because it's. I totally agree with the guy.
Ceferin follow the Cult of Calcio. So regards to Ceferin.
Well, he actually called me this morning to tell me, "Hey guys, please be nice to me.
Be polite.
Exactly." That was one thing. But before we dig into the Super League, I know I see someone wearing a shirt from Madrid, and I know that guy Carlos is really there to just talk about Ceferin. Let's talk about Serie A. Let's talk about a little bit about football. Ottaviano out. And okay. Well, I shut up now. I'm gonna go out. Serie A. Let's talk about Serie A.
Yeah.
Last round. So we got. For me, it was amazing. It was beautiful. Also for Turkey. Also, I was really happy. But so Juventus had not easy, because it's never easy, but surely for Juventus,
it actually was not easy. Let me tell you,
it was difficult. I saw the match. It was
at all. It was supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be quite. I'll say some match that we could handle with in an easy way, but it was not. And actually, even if the result is a good result, but it does not match with our performance at all. And that's still a bit worrying, because I read an interesting article on the Gazzetta, but they were saying something that I totally agree with, and is that they seemed like a team that finally found some some way to play together.
Yeah, okay.
It's a bit late, I will say, but that's the same impression that I had. Like, okay, but that happened like in the second half, not even in the first half when they scored the equalizer. But I think that happened in the second half, and then I said, okay, what happened so far? Where were you guys? So I totally agree with that.
Do you guys think that because like Juventus, also Napoli, they were like it was like a roller coaster when it comes to performances, and for Inter it's the same. They start playing as a team as they basically were kicked out together with separated from Champions League. Roma is the only one now in Europe, as indeed that they are in Europe they're performing wonderfully. Serie A. It's a disaster so far. We can say, well, the last one was really good match against Atalanta, but I watched the game and I think Atalanta, Turkey, you can confirm that Atalanta could have scored at least 4 or 5 times. What
Absolutely.
do you think?
Look, that team that showed itself against Atalanta it can't be the team that goes on field with Manchester United. Atalanta, look, I do respect. I understand that there's a trend. Atalanta is initially I thought maybe it was just momentum, but I think that even having made a choice like getting rid of Gomez, and Malinowski has now become this central figure for the team. The team has a good organic that can compete with anyone, and for Roma, especially in a year where Roma has failed against all the big teams. We failed against Juventus, against Napoli, against Inter, against Milan. That cannot be the team that goes on field against Manchester United. It's not the players itself, it's the mentality. And I'll be honest, the fact that Roma is the only Italian team representing is also scary because there's a lot of quality in the other teams. Inter, Juventus, Napoli, they're teams that have, for the last 5, 6, 7 years, had a robust, let's say, how do you say it? I guess I'm going to say just a prestige. There's a prestige behind them. And for Roma to be going in where they're failing so miserably in the Serie A, which miserably you can say it's not so bad. The numbers, the points are very close, but it's been too chaotic. And then when that same team goes and beats Ajax, goes and beats Shakhtar, it's a worry. It's scary.
And Paolo, when it comes to the Roma season, there are also 3 things I think that needs to be mentioned. You changed the ownership. The property is a new property, and the property that has also impact somehow in the club performance. There is a lot of situations that are changing inside the club. Then there is also to mention one other stuff. As the top clubs in Italy, also Roma were played every 3 days. But at this point, at this stage, they are the only team that didn't find, the momentum to be a team. But you are also the only team performing every 3 days. And you lost Zaniolo. You have a lot of injuries, but really big and important things. So I believe Fonseca, with his European mindset, is doing an amazing job in Roma.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, look, the least responsible of the whole situation for me is Fonseca. I think that he has a grounded philosophy of football. My concern is that it hasn't come out, and there have been some decisions. The fact that he makes changes very late on in the games, and it's such a big turnover. Playing every 3 games is true. That's a big impact, especially for a team that wasn't built to go this far into the league, into the Europa League. Because Juventus, Napoli, they have an organic. When someone comes out, the person that comes in is someone that is established to a certain degree. If I look at Roma, without Dzeko, it's been very odd. Mkhitaryan had an injury and has not really turned up to play. Pedro started off really well and then started to dip. they all have exceptional qualities, but when one of them doesn't perform, someone has to step in. So that's why every 3 days, yes, if it was a tiredness thing and fatigue, for sure. I think Fonseca is doing the best he can with trying to get people like Cristante playing in defense because Smalling has been out. Pellegrini has been so focused in replacing Mkhitaryan that he's kind of neglected the center. And then also to consider someone like Villar, who's a 21-year-old Spanish footballer who will go very far. He's exceptional.
Yeah, it is.
He has the burden of the midfield of Roma, which is it's a big weight to bear. And that's why I think the fact that it's every 3 days, the fact that the team has a lot of strategy, I think he chosen a team that was projecting to come this far. And it has, which is good. That's a miracle.
Well, you have Fonseca. I think when you when you pick a coach as Fonseca, the reason is because you want to go as far as possible in Europe rather than in Serie A. But Paolo, I seen Carlos clapping to you. He was clapping to your comment. Carlos, why were you clapping?
No, because in the meantime, it's getting a very strong debate among our Spanish viewers, because, you know, we have Turkey, we have viewers all around the world, and they are starting a trending topic. The whole planet is discussing who should be the striker for the Euro Cup for Spain, Morata or Mayoral. And Mayoral is winning by far now. So I don't know, Bozzelli maybe will get I don't know. The people are quite unhappy with Morata recently. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
Well, maybe Bozzelli can answer to that.
I would say Mayoral. I mean, for what I've seen, I repeat this every Saturday. Other Paolo know about that. that after the match against Lazio, Morata, it happened something to him. Something happened to him, and I totally agree with the supporters that might not want to see him as, I mean, the first choice. I wouldn't say that he shouldn't be at all on the national selection, but I would say that is a good alternative. Is a good alternative, at least for what he showed in the last 2 months. And the road to the Euro Cup, it's is shrinking. So I think that Mayoral will be better as a first choice for sure.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, it's funny because they have both, let's say, parallel lives, because they both played together in the youth academy of Real Madrid. So they are from what we call La Fábrica. They both went on loan. Morata went to Juventus, and then Mayoral went to Germany, to Wolfsburg, and they both came back to Real Madrid, where Morata had more chances with in his comeback with Zidane. Mayoral, not that many. But in the end, they both end up in Italy. So it's funny that the two main strikers of Spain are playing in Italy. And I think it's interesting because I was, in the status, always Morata was much higher than Mayoral, definitely. And he's done more for the clubs and national team, obviously, and the transfer fee that Chelsea paid for him, that's a good example. But nowadays, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting what's happening, because the Euro is approaching, and some big names, I think, will not go to the Euro Cup, probably, because Luis Enrique is very hardcore in his decisions, also. So let's see. We call it the Spanish Roma, Turkey, with Paul Lopez, Villar, and also Pedrito.
Yeah. There's a lot of Spanish blood there at the moment, which is phenomenal. They bring a wealth of football history, because Real Madrid even a player that doesn't make it into the Real Madrid squad that done the youth journey as a youth player in Madrid. There's a pedigree. I think the same of Juventus, of Milan. Players that come through the youth teams there they have a certain breed, a certain prestige. And Mayoral, look, has been hit or miss on certain performances that I think were critical. But generally, what I like about him is that he's a slight evolution of the original number 9, a bomber. Someone that sat in the area, but he works really comfortably outside the area, and that's that Spanish talent, that flair, that he doesn't just stand. He's not static in the area. He builds up with the rest of the team, which, coming from a player like Dzeko, who comes out and lets the team come up, has been a perfect transition. And he's got, he's very young. So on top of that, he brings a lot of passion and drive. But he still, I think, has a long way to perform, to go to carry the weight of the national team of La Roja. No, it's crazy. But I think he's definitely, if the alternative is Morata, Mayoral has had a lot of minutes in his legs this year.
In this way.
Yeah, and actually, I would say that for Morata is kind of the time for confirmations. It's like time to say, okay, we can rely on you on a regular basis. And this is not what is happening. So it's both trouble for La Roja and La Vecchia Signora as well. So it's kind of a trick. And let's see what happens. Actually, I'm kind of happy that Morata is not performing well for the Euro Cup.
For the Euro Cup. Well, let's hope he will perform like that also during the Euro Cup.
During the Euro Cup. Sorry, Carlos.
Especially in that. Also, Fabian Ruiz, which is coming back to life. Hopefully, in the next month, will not perform. But I have a question, guys. We are missing Matteo. And we're missing the team that in Serie A now, I believe it's showing some issues, some problems. They're not always winning, which is AC Milan. I think they were like a 6 or 7 points advantage on the third position. And now there are 3 points on the fifth position. So in 3 points, we have a lot of teams. We have like 4 teams in 3 points. What do you think about AC Milan? What's going on there? Why they keep losing? What's happening?
It's getting let me start. It's getting hot because the other day they play. You always see 2 AC Milans in one game. You see, so at some point a very good version, 20-25 minutes that they play really nice. I really like them to watch, and honestly, is the team I was following more this season because of the Pioli, the change. They were top of the league for several months. The first half of the season, they were the best team, I think. But then recently, they are not consistent. And just to keep the results, exactly the opposite what Inter is doing. Inter is managing to get those results, performing sometimes less brilliant than AC Milan. But AC Milan, when they're the other day, is a game you just have to hold on and win 1-0. You have to keep the defense, stay strong behind, and you have to, no matter how, keep the result, the clean sheet behind. And then they end up scoring 2 goals at the end. I don't know. It's like physically, I see the team very, very exhausted. I don't know if you guys agree.
For them, yeah. I was actually shocked by their last performance. I was happy. Of course, I was happy as an Napoli supporter, and I guess also Juventus supporters were happy about that. But I wouldn't expect that. Honestly, I would expect AC Milan to be a little bit more, a stronger side when it comes to winning that kind of matches. In the last 6 matches, I think they won 3 times. They tied 1 and they lost 2 games. And
actually, when because it's the team, and sorry to cut you, is the team that has been the longest without Champions League out of these 4 teams that we are representing: Napoli, Juve, Roma, Inter. The team has been the longest without Champions League games is AC Milan. No, it's 7 years now, I think.
Yeah,
7 years.
They are out of Champions League. I think even more than 7 years. So, well, we can ask Matteo, which just told me to go out, and I see that he is commenting. There is no fuel left in the tank, guys. Well, someone needs to pump that fuel, and maybe something was, was wrong in the beginning, in the preparation. A lot of injuries. Also, Napoli had a lot of injuries. Also, Roma and also Juventus. I'm answering to Matteo now. A lot of injuries. Can that be one of the key points, you think, guys?
Coming from a team that's had a lot of those injuries, yes. I mean, when you lose players, especially in short succession.
I lost everyone.
Oh. Are you there?
Go on, Turkey.
Actually, Diego is having some other issues.
No. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, sorry, there was a lag. No, from a perspective, Roma always has 3 or 4 big injuries very early on. Then you get that key moment. Yes, it's a big it can be the thing that deflates a team. You you lose the fuel that thing. One thing about Milan, though, that I was always skeptical on, because I think that Pioli's done an amazing job, and I like the organic of the team. But it's missing something that I think Napoli and Juventus do well. Inter has done it well this year. It's il gioco sporco, the dirty game. When you are losing, when you are losing a game and you win out of pure resilience, just pure resistance to not. Juventus does this really well. The games that they don't deserve to win, they win anyways. Inter has done that this year, I think, because Conte has brought that mentality, which is, if we're going to lose, we win anyways. No? And Milan, I think, has lacked, because they second based on amazing performance. Like Carlos was saying, they had a really good game. They were fast. It was a dynamic game. It was a modern game, mixed with the talent of Ibrahimovic, who brings in an old aspect, experience. And Pioli has done an amazing job, but I think that they're missing that, just that bit of character that says, even when, like against Sassuolo, that was not the same Milan.
That was not the same.
That was but
well,
the injuries have an impact.
What is scary for AC Milan supporter is that they have, in the last matches they're coming, they have a lot of big games. They're going to face Lazio, they're going to play against Juventus, and the last match of the season is going to be against Atalanta. Milan is the only team that is facing three, competitors for the Champions League. I think Napoli is the only one not facing any, direct competitor. Then we have Juventus with one, and of course Atalanta with one. And if we want to take again, we want to keep still Roma and Lazio in the battle of. Well, Lazio could be. Lazio, they have Milan. If they're going to win against AC Milan on Monday, because they play on Monday night, well, at that point, you can consider Lazio back in the game. Roma is a little bit more difficult. They have the derby and the second last match of the season. Then they also have, they still have Inter. So I believe for Roma, it's difficult, and probably the focus is on Europe. Atalanta, I believe Atalanta and Juventus will play for the second position. And I'm sorry, Matteo, if I say that AC Milan will not end on the second position. I believe they will not make it. It's really tough end of the season for them at this point.
It could happen. It could happen after such a long time. 5 Italian teams in the Champions League. If Roma wins the Europa League, that could be incredible.
That would be amazing. Super League, Italian Super League. That would be fantastic. That would be really beautiful. Just we are playing 5. Okay, guys. So looking at, let's see. We talk about Serie A. We talk a lot about what's happening next week. There are some interesting matches, and one is Lazio Milan. Then which is going to be really interesting. Interesting is going to be also, I believe, Torino Napoli. Torino is doing better. They're a stronger team now. They are fighting, to avoid the relegation. Napoli is in the full fight to get to the Champions League. Then we have Fiorentina Juventus. I didn't realize that. Fiorentina Juventus is going to be interesting as well. Both.
Do you recall what happened in the first leg? I do.
No, I don't. Do you? Tell us.
Yeah, come on, you remember.
Tell us. I don't remember. What happened in the first?
It was maybe the most shameful match of Juventus this year. That we lost home 3-0 against Fiorentina. And after that, maybe sometimes we came back on track, and then we just jump out of the train again. But I think that today is going to be at least a proof match for seeing if we can at least reach the second place.
The second
today we win, it's going to be a boost to the morale as well. because of course we are out of the road for the Scudetto, but I think that now the real clash is, as you said, against Atalanta for the second place. And if we manage to win today, we put like one step ahead in that direction.
And let's not forget that Fiorentina is really in danger for relegation, guys. They have to win. They need
a victory today. Tomorrow.
That's the same position for Torino. Yeah. Because I believe they are Fiorentina should be 33 points. Fiorentina is 33 points, and Torino is 31.
And Genoa, because Genoa Spezia are playing against each other, so they are dropping points. They're dropping points. So
it's going to be interesting. As long as we end up top 4, it's fine. You will not end up top 4, Matteo. I'm sorry to say that. I need to say that.
There would be, I think, as I foreseen, and maybe we can ask also Paolo if we want to make a forecast for that. I think that they will end up fourth in the
fourth
league.
Position.
Yeah,
Milan.
Right behind Atalanta. I said Inter, Juventus, Atalanta, Milan. Or not? No, actually, I said Milan, Roma. So I'm changing the cards now. I have to take back the notes. Yeah,
you're right. Don't lie, Paolo. Don't.
So what is interesting, guys, is that if they end up all, the same points, Napoli will win against Juventus and Atalanta, but Napoli loses against AC Milan. But I believe Juventus is the team with most points when it comes to, competing with Atalanta, Napoli, direct fight, basically. Yeah. I honestly don't think AC Milan will make it. I think 3 points are not enough now, especially with 3 big games that they have on their path. What I think could be a good point, a positive things for AC Milan and Napoli is that Juventus and Atalanta, they still have the Coppa Italia final, which is at the end of the day is a trophy, and this is a trophy that will make the season better. Juventus already have their trophy this year against Napoli in Super Cup. Well, it's a trophy, guys. Anyway, they want
uno titoli, as Mourinho would say.
Uno titoli, and they won it. So that's also interesting to see, how is that match going to impact the season. But there is also crazy stuff. Lazio Torino needs to be rematched. And it's likely that they will play the match after the season is finished, which is crazy.
No,
wow, really?
They were saying the same thing about Juventus Napoli, and they didn't, of course, because otherwise the whole league will be affected and impacted in a bad way. I do really hope that they are not going to do some stupid thing like this.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Because we cannot expect anything this year. We cannot expect
exactly. This year is so peculiar. But indeed, I'm really curious to see when they will rematch, and I hope they will not doing that. What about battle for relegation? I hope they will not doing that after the season, because that would be like a really silly relegation. Crotone and Parma.
We have the notes from relegation also from Paolo. We have it written. You remember?
Yeah, I have it written somewhere, but it's somewhere.
Don't tell me the cat ate all the notes.
Could be,
Yeah.
But I have it. Those ones I have it at hand. So if you want, I can tell you again. So it's going to be Crotone Parma, Cagliari for, I think it was for me. Then it was Crotone Parma Benevento for you, Carlos. Crotone Parma Cagliari for Diego, and Crotone Parma Spezia for
me was Spezia. I said Spezia.
Was Spezia?
Yeah.
I have to switch them. So maybe Benevento was Matteo, because I said Matteo Benevento, Matteo Spezia, Benevento you. So
I said Spezia because you remember it was that game Spezia Cagliari that day, and Spezia won, and I was thinking,
yeah.
So, they have a great coach, Carlos. Italiano, it's a really nice coach. I like him a lot. I hope he will end up in Napoli. I don't care he doesn't have a big name, big experience and stuff. But I have been following Spezia this year, and they actually won really important matches with the big teams. and they're performing pretty well. The last one, let's not forget that they got a point, a really important point against one team that is, there somewhere in the Serie A, in the top. So I do think, actually, I would change my mind now, because I really think Benevento will not make it, and Cagliari will end up.
I think Benevento is clearly
going
Benevento
down.
is clearly,
You can see that, and they're performing.
But you cannot change it. Remember, Diego, what we wrote in January, it stays written in January. No.
It's okay. What Agnelli said about Super League is gonna be, on books forever. So it's okay.
But remember Agnelli, when we'll be talking in 1 or 2 years. Don't forget. We didn't open this topic yet, but this is just the beginning of the war. Well,
that's an interesting point, that we are gonna keep it, because I'm gonna open that for you. I'm gonna just leave the floor to Real Madrid, Carlos, Forza Barcelona, and
see, we are united. We are united. You see, Madrid and Barcelona, we are best friends. So.
Yeah, indeed. But if you see the jersey I have behind, you will see, like, you have a blue and a white and grana color. So if you combine them, Napoli and the other team, you will get Barcelona. So it's something really interesting that way. You know that Atletico. I don't know. Also Atletico. I would love Pablo Cholito, I like him. But we are going somewhere that we don't know where we are going talking now. But going back to the relegation, today, key match. The key match is going to be Genoa Spezia, as you were saying. I hope Spezia is going to win, because I really enjoy the way they're talking, the way they're doing this season with Ottaviano. We got a really huge comment from the Calcio. I don't know these guys. So, forecast for relegation. Paolo said Crotone, Parma, Cagliari. Matteo, Crotone, Parma, Benevento. Diego, they saying then Bozzelli.
Thank
and,
you.
Sorry, I tried. And then we got Carlos, Crotone,
Parma, Spezia. Yeah.
Turchi, we miss you. We need your forecasting.
Look, obviously, if I look at the standings today, Crotone and Parma are sure. I think that Cagliari may do just enough to tip out. But if that's the case, then that means it's Benevento that goes. But I don't know. I think Di Francesco did too much damage there.
Yeah.
So it's Benevento, it's Cagliari.
Benevento. Yeah.
Benevento.
Yeah, it's Benevento. I think Cagliari will do just enough to get out of relegation zone.
Okay.
So nice. So, as we talked about the relegation, I want to move to the wonderful topic of Super League that Carlos loves. But before doing that, I want to show a comment, which is extremely important to us. And so, what's going on, guys? I'm really tired. I need to be honest. I'm super tired of Super League. Not in the way there is a lot of drama now.
I'm gonna mute myself about this. I'm gonna mute myself.
It's European, because no, seriously, thank you, because it's European drama, but it seems one of those drama we get sometimes in Italy that they never had, and it's just annoying. Football is beautiful because it's played, because it's football. It's a tactic. It's the sport. What's going on with Real Madrid, Juventus, Barcelona, and Seferin? It's elementary school to me. Okay, high school. Let's say high school.
No, too mature.
It's a fight for power.
Okay, thank you.
Too mature. It's like really, maybe our people abroad cannot recall this, but do you remember Aldo, Giovanni, Giacomo when they fight each other like this?
Yes.
They look like that. They exactly look like that. They look like ducks fighting each other. Like, it's completely pathetic. Out of context, I would say also kind of not dangerous, but damaging the image of football itself, which is losing. Like the worst match losing here, it's the image of football, international football, European football especially. So it's really something that should end up soon. They should just talk together and in front of a glass of wine and fix it, because It's been too much time that we were talking about this bullshit. Sorry for the French.
What did you say? I
French.
heard the
I said
beep.
French. We will beep it when we will record it. But
We got blocked from Facebook. We got blocked from Facebook now.
here it is. Let's go.
But no, because it's let's show. So let me show you what we are doing in with the Catacaggio. So Seferin is not stopping talking. That's I think
La
the
Camorra.
issue.
That's an
La
issue.
Camorra.
Well, that's something a little bit different. What is I don't know. I don't understand why he's keep talking. Why he? I mean, it's okay. We realize there is something to fix. There is an issue. We realize that you need to have dialogue. You need communication. But this is not anymore communication. It's in between sensationalism, if I might say that word, and even popularism. I don't understand why. We do understand that was a big mistake from my side. That's my fault about Real Madrid and the other 11 teams. I understand that we do need Super League, not built in that way. But with meritocracy, you need something new. You need to change, to shuffle a little bit. That's 100%. But in the way that it was built, no, that was just like the richest against the poorest, or it was elite football. That was not nice. I didn't like it. Let's go back with Pablo. We really like his. So Pablo comment is covering Carlos' face now.
Ciao Paolo. Grazie Paolo. Pablo Marin, legendary socio of Real Madrid.
So what do you guys think? What's gonna be next? What's happening?
Well, what's happening? What was going to happen? It's really difficult to say because this is sounds like an ultimatum to the guys of the Super League, saying, "Okay, guys, we joked about this, but now stop it, otherwise you're not going to participate." But on the other hand, this is not like a one-shot decision that they can make. So, okay, threatening the clubs, but it's not really the way it's going to happen.
Okay,
But, it's really like a really lot of noise to avoid that somehow the Super League is going to go ahead as a concept. But they need to make some adjustment. We said a lot of times, also during our special live last Monday, that this is something that needs to be adjusted by the two parts, but both parts needs to be adjusted somehow. I try to rephrase. So basically, UEFA is not a saint here at all. So they need to make adjustments, not only in the way they arrange the Champions League or how they arrange games and whatsoever, but they need to make a lot of fixes to a lot of other things. And not only
That's
UEFA.
the problem. That's the problem, Paolo. That's because you are saying the Super League came in a very nasty way. But that's the problem. UEFA refused and FIFA refused to sit on the table for 2 years. They tried. I will tell you one explanation. Nowadays, in comparing to our parents' generation, if my father is upset with his boss 30 years ago and he was a salary raise, he will go to his office and he will ask for a salary raise. Me, in 2021, if I want a salary raise, I go to my boss and I present a resignation letter that I have another job, a better job, because otherwise my boss is not going to sit and negotiate with me a salary raise. So this is the different times we live in. If you don't do a completely breakout, UEFA would never sit, and we've seen it. UEFA is not, and even La Liga, they're not ready to sit and talk. So for me, I didn't see it as attack to the national leagues at all. You need the national leagues, but it's like, and Florentino Perez is funny because he's now the face of it and he's receiving all this criticism. But if you take all the words from his last interviews in the last 3 days, when he says, almost every single thing that he says is true. The amount of viewers among the young population that is reducing, is going down. The group stage of Champions League TV viewers that no one is watching. The fact that the UEFA is able to arrange a new tournament that the League of Nations without any consent, and then there is no football fans jumping out, complaining, and nobody watches that tournament. It's just money for the UEFA. So UEFA is doing whatever they want, and no one is doing anything for years. And suddenly now, because they say, okay, enough is enough. And I don't know if you heard the interview of Piqué with Valdano yesterday in the Spanish show. And Piqué is against the Super League, but he says, how are we going to let them, how is it possible that this season, the season of COVID, clubs like Eibar, Cádiz, and Levante, they are making profit and the big clubs are losing? Because of one explanation, because the small clubs, 95% of their budget comes from TV rights. The big clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, Milan, only 20% of their budget comes from TV rights. So it's not fair. Cádiz is making money this season, and Real Madrid and Juventus are losing money this season because the stadiums are empty. How is that fair?
Hold on that thought, because it's really interesting. I want to, Simone is asking this question. Do you think there will be sanctions? I want to ask this question to Turchi Bozzelli. Hold on that thought, Carlos. Before, I also want to show this comment. It's obviously talking about Agnelli, the guy. And Simone. So you need to know that Simone and I, we generally hang out. We sometimes go for a beer and fishing together. And the next time we'll just, push him into the lake.
By himself, like.
No, I will push him into the lake directly, together with the fishes. So as a godfather, I will be able to say he is silent with the fish now. So go ahead, the question, Carlos. And no, sorry, Bozzelli and Turchi.
For the end of the episode, you will learn to pronounce my last name.
Again, I'm from Verona. I'm from Verona.
I hope
super
I'm
difficult.
betting on this.
But I'm trying.
To answer to Simone, I will say hopefully not. And as I was saying before, I think that this back and forth, this elementary school clash should end up as soon as possible. They should sit at the table and talk as mature guys, as adults, and not as kids as they are doing right now. So, and this actually should end up in something that is not a sanction, but is an agreement. That's the mature way to proceed. So for me, there will be no sanction. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. What about you, Paolo Turchi?
So for me, look, I don't think there will be. If they did have them, it's because the clubs that have broken off are going to continue to try again until they get what they demand. To me, it does sound a bit like a high school fight, but fundamentally the problem is one. It's that question: what came first, the chicken or the egg? No, it's what is more important: the clubs that make the association, or the association that makes the clubs. You know what I mean? It's in all these clubs like Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Milan, Juventus. They can say we've made the history of football for years. We've made the history of the Champions League for years. We have made the culture of the Champions League. And for this, they have a right to demand more, to demand, to Carlos's point, to demand a security that manages to maintain their massive expenses, because Real Madrid got to where they are because they get the best players. And who pays for the best players? They get it in one way or another. That's how they make the culture. Having said that, I can't go to the school and tell the president how to run the school. The school is run because it comes from the problem is the school wouldn't exist if there wasn't the students. So they will be fighting this. The problem that what Carlos said very well is that the UEFA does whatever it wants.
The point is that you made a really good comparison. The point is that students cannot make their own school, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, they cannot even grade themselves, right?
That's right. They have to follow the norms. It's just difficult because I would also argue that without the clubs, the association means nothing. But without the platform, it's impossible. Who wins? Who's more important? That's why I think what everyone has said here is correct. People need to sit down, but also sit down seriously, because if they need to evolve the Champions League, you do it now and you do it well, because the modern game has changed. Having said that, you also then, things like financial fair play that came in and, Roma suffered like an animal trying to meet financial fair play expectations. If you're going to bring in those stupid rules that really don't bridge the gap between one club and another, then yes, Barcelona, Real Madrid are going to continue to try get more from a competition that is going to bring more.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's always going to be one-sided.
And this is the only thing that Seferin agrees, which shows this revolution that happened after Manchester City and PSG. Now, Nasser Al-Khelaifi is the representative of the clubs in Europe and in UEFA. Just to give you an idea, the guy from Qatar.
Yeah.
And the only thing that they took out of the Super League is that Seferin said, no, we're going to be more relaxed about the financial fair play, which is exactly what Agnelli and Florentino Perez are against, and Laporta. No, we want a stricter financial fair play to compete with Man City and PSG. But now PSG, because obviously PSG was never going to join the Super League because the World Cup of Qatar is next year, so they cannot join the Super League. It's obvious. And then now the guy said, no, we're going to be more relaxed on the financial fair play, which is exactly the opposite what we want, exactly the opposite. So this guy didn't understand anything. I just give you one more comment, and sorry, I'll let the floor. It's here with the COVID crisis, the Prime Minister of Spain, Sanchez, Conte in Italy, Boris Johnson, they almost talk every week, and they took measures every week because a lot of jobs, companies are disappearing. You need urgently the measures and the money to flow. And the UEFA comes up with a new idea, new tournament for 2024. When Piqué, Florentino Perez, everybody knows in 2024, how many of the clubs of today would disappear already? It's too late. You cannot wait for 2024 for a new Champions League, which is a joke, a longer group stage, playing with 10 teams, which is exactly the opposite of what you need. So it's what are you waiting for? 2024.
I agree with that, Carlos. I fully agree. The only thing that I don't see happening here is the help to the smaller teams. If you help in the past, in the last 5 years, if you would have helped clubs like Chievo Verona, for example, I'm just mentioning Chievo because I'm from Verona. So Chievo Verona, they were at a certain point of the season fighting for the relegation, and finally they're relegated because in Italy we have the parachute, which is basically a system that will help clubs that were in Serie A, and will be helped basically financially by Lega Serie A to go to the second division. My question is, why do we have teams like, and sorry to say, it's not something against Juventus, but why do Juventus get a player, buy a player like Ronaldo, knowing that it will provide serious financial issues? Because it was clear since the beginning that. And I cite Juventus because that's probably one of the most important and famous examples, Cristiano Ronaldo. We're talking about one of the biggest team ever. But that can go also for it can go also for Manchester City, for a lot of teams. PSG. Why are they spending 10 million euros for 22 years old? Why Osimhen in Napoli is paid 6 million per year? He's 22 years old. That's the issue, guys. And that's allowed by UEFA, but also by Lega Serie A, by Liga Santander, by Premier League, etc., etc. You want to win because winning is the only thing that matters. Okay. But that, of course, if you keep having the same team spending a lot of money and the other, they cannot cope with that financially, it is obviously that you will have, clubs of Serie B, like, less important and less competition. However, Leicester, Atalanta, Dortmund, there are a lot of cases that are still there showing up. And Atalanta is the perfect and fit example.
I think you're right, Diego. Sorry.
Go, Turkey, go.
You're right, Diego, because I think ultimately in all this, when you're not helping the small teams, you also change the culture of a team. You change the culture of the league, because now the small clubs like Chievo, like Brescia, they live hoping to land that one player that Juventus or Milan or PSG come and spend 30, 40 million, and they don't care about anything else. They will live the next 3-4 years with that 34, 40 million and survive off that. Whereas back then, if I think of the old Perugia, that further that you had a Bari, they were smaller teams, but these teams here every year tried their best to win a league. They tried their best to beat Juventus, to the strong teams. That was a mentality. Whereas now it's where are we going to make money? Selling hopefully a really good young player. It destroys the league.
But Paolo, what I'm really upset is that it is not so many years ago that Cuadrado was playing for Fiorentina. and he was actually beating Juventus with an amazing match. And that's not that many years ago. Then Quadrado was bought by Juventus. He stayed in Juventus. It's the same for Napoli. Napoli bought many players and they played for Napoli for many years, which is fine as well. But of course, then the competition, when financially some teams cannot cope with that, we'll end up with having Eibar and Crotone. Sorry to say the name of those two teams. Having how many points has Eibar at the moment, Carlos? 21? I was because Crotone, I think they have 15.
Eibar has actually 23, which
23. And you understand how can that's too much. That's what you need to stop. So my advice, I talked with Carlos about that, would be first of all, many team like less team in the leagues. That's the first thing. You get away 2 teams. You have already 4 games. You know, less per team. And that's already something.
Great question from Alessio, by the way. Great question because Man City is in the semi-finals the year that they were supposed to be disqualified. So this is the irony of football. And talking about, guys, you were talking about Crotone or Eibar, but a real case that happened this week, I don't know if you follow, even Zidane was talking about in the conference press yesterday, Girondins Bordeaux, huge French club, European history, great names, great players. They got in the American owners pull off this week, and now they're not paying the money anymore.
The players.
And we have great players in the team this season, like Koscielny, like Hatem Ben Arfa, famous players. And now they're not getting paid the salaries, anything next week. The club might disappear. The club might disappear at the end of this season, and we're talking about a huge name,
which is actually a former Zidane club, right?
Yeah,
Zidane is from
his first Ligue 1 club, his first club. Yeah,
and actually, this partially answers also to the question of Alessio, because I think that for sure it's not a matter of sanctions, but somehow at a certain point we should find a way to regulate these kind of things
and balance,
because otherwise it's complete wildness. And we should also put on the plate the hypocrisy of UEFA when they made those comments.
Absolutely. Which I found the last Seferin comment, it really bothered me. I was like, why do you keep doing that? Anyway,
never forget, I would love to say that the romantic and beautiful story, because like I said, as the Super League came out, I'm very against. I'm for a new Champions League. The new Champions League format should be the balance, something in between. But we all know, and I wish we could say, the Chelsea supporters stopped the Super League, or all those stories. But it's very well documented that there's 2 guys who stopped the Super League. First is Nasser Khelaifi, and second is Boris Johnson, when he called one by one each of the owners of the Premier League clubs, saying, guys, all your players of your 6 teams, they will not have the residence right. We will increase the taxes, and he will talk money. And it's funny. The guy who did Brexit, the brain of Brexit, now is again against its own Brexit, right? So it's just ironic.
Premier League is already a Super League by itself.
It is.
So that's
it is. But I suggest I'll send the link. The interview with Piqué and Valdano, and Piqué is saying exactly the names. The numbers of how much Premier League is making today, how much La Liga, how much Serie A, and how much is the projection of JP Morgan, because JP Morgan is the brain behind the Super League, to make the goal is 10 billion, right? 10 billion is exactly the money that it's combined today between the Serie A, La Liga, and Premier League, without counting Bundesliga and without counting Ligue 1. So it's just that's the goal, to reach 10 billion. And they are saying with that money, you can flow through the pyramid to the smaller clubs, because one of the things that Florentino Perez didn't manage to explain properly is that for next season, in case of the Superliga, the smaller clubs, we will receive already much more money than from the UEFA next season by Champions League. So it's already an increase of money to the small clubs from next season already. So this part of the conversation was not there. It was just, all the noise around.
It was not written in. If you check the website of the Super League, that part is not mentioned at all. That's the issue. JP Morgan, they were downgraded. The JP Morgan, they got from I think I minus to AA minus. They got downgraded after the Super League issue, mistake, or whatever you want to call. Guys, we are already running out of time, and it was a fantastic and spectacular today. the best jersey is worn by me. Actually, this is the last week quiz. Well, come on, it's nice. It's from the 50s, 60s.
Thank you to let's thank everybody that commented and contributed to the live session from home.
Nice.
Thank you guys again, and of course, see you next time on these pages.
Yeah. And as always, if you guys want to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all our official channels. I want to give a special thanks for Turchi, Paolo, directly from Sydney, connected directly from Sydney. It was really nice. Thanks for that. And guys, nice.
Thank you, Turchi. You increased the level from Simone Dormio and Matteo Carnevale. We will not invite them anymore.
With all the love to Simone and Matteo.
And Renato, let's not forget of Renato. Yeah, guys,
I'm happy.
Thank you very much, and we will see each other next Saturday morning. Yeah.
Yes.
Viva Australia,
guys.
Viva
Bye,
Australia.
guys. Bye.